they forget about the journey, because what is the beautiful thing is this thing, it's a journey.
Everybody remembers success, they forget the struggle.
So many rejections on castings, on auditions.
Boom.
First rule is you have to learn how to lose.
They start to say, before I was funny because of the beer, Gigi's good guy, he reads book. After, stop reading book and focus on basketball.
Focus and play.
It's so easy to turn.
Talking about the books, what is your what is your favorite? For example, I tell you mine. I read novels just like and I like to study. I like more like self-development, that kind, like mystic books. And what is your like favorite?
Depends. I like to read a little bit of everything where I find something that I'm interested in. Okay, can be novel to read just a story and it's nice. I read a lot because I told you that I would like to have more knowledge about history, especially Italian history on the former century. I read a lot of books with journalists wrote it about those years where
analytics.
Yes, telling also facts and explaining and interviewing the politician at the time. There've been a lot of civil rights earning in the 70s, in the 60s. 60s had been very important age for all the world, basically.
Yeah.
But I like radio, I like thriller, I like a book from sport or music star that, I like. I'm drawn by the stories of successful people. Or people like Patti Smith that wrote incredible book, not only about herself, but just because she's an elected soul, she's a poet, everything she writes is so comfortable. I like Murakami, I like Don Winslow, I like I read a little bit of everything, but I need to have some kind of interest in the story, yes.
Perfect. And tell me, that's what I ask always, like people from basketball, what is your favorite basketball book?
Basketball book, except mine.
Yeah, except yours, and not instructional, like
no. What
it's
I liked a lot, it was I think Coach Wooden and Me by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I read it recently and was talking a lot about his coach from UCLA, Coach Wooden. He was an iconic coach. That was very nice. Other than that, in basketball, I didn't read much about basketball, about stories. Let me think. If I have to say one book about basketball, that one. There are many. Also, Flavio Tranquillo is very good, very famous Italian journalist. He wrote excellent books. One with Messina was very interesting when Messina was assistant coach for the Lakers. So he gave his perspective about that experience. Kobe was there. Those books was very interesting also.
Okay. Yeah, me, I also like to read like more than like history and that kind of biography books. I recently got one. It's about Yugoslav basketball. It's called Jazz Basket, and it's amazing. It starts from the beginning, and the Yugoslav basketball get the strong influence from Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Because Italians, they played with American soldiers, and then in Rijeka, in north of, it's not Istria, Rijeka, but Fiume. It's in Italian, it's Fiume. So they start there, and then how they made Red Star, how they made Partizan during the Second World War. It's very interesting, all the story, like historically. It's really amazing. It's really amazing. So the books. Yeah, the books is always, that's what I say always, like people in the beginning when the quarantine starts and what you do. And I said, come on, it's not so bad. You have Wi-Fi, but always you have books, you need just a candlelight. I have a small light in the night, even if I watch series, even if I watch movies, but before to go to sleep, at least 2 pages,
It's just good like, also for the eyes, to make the eyes tired and then poof.
Yeah. You mentioned Patti Smith. She's a great man. Patti Smith. She's like.
She's one of my favorites for sure, because there are some characters that give you emotion. Okay, music is great, but as I said, she's a poet. Also on Instagram, if you follow her, she can find detail of a shadow, and she write a few lines about it. And I think she's just an elected soul. And yes, very like her, like Jim Morrison. That is maybe my best rock star, let's say. When I listened first time to him, I say, who is this guy? Like his voice, his way he was yelling, his way he was reading poetry. I say, this must be some visionary, you know.
And you have to put that 50 years ago, you know.
Yes,
because,
exactly.
You know, now it will be like these kids that play trap music, you know, with the tattoos. But imagine 50 years ago, because I recently went to Paris to the cemetery. I don't know if you've been there. Yeah, Père Lachaise cemetery. And you see, you still feel that. And I can imagine how that was in 70s and 80s, you know, that place of pellegrinage, you know.
Every time I go to Paris, if I have the opportunity, I go to Père Lachaise to give my tribute, because every time I feel better. Really, I go there, and I don't know if he's still there, because they also broke the grave, you know. And
yeah, I mean,
they say also
the last time was a fence, was everything. And the interesting thing was there, I met a lady. She was like 75, old hippie American, you know.
Okay.
And that's amazing in Paris, because Paris is always like, wow, big city, no crowd, noise. And you go to that place. I was in the winter. I was now in January. Was nobody, you know. It was sunny day. I went with a friend of mine, photographer, and we met that lady, and was like from the movie, you know. There was a weird situation, because she was so calm, you know. She said, yeah, and she was with small chair, you know, she carrying the chair. She said, I came here all the time. I feel, wow, man, it's like 40 years, 50 years after.
Incredible. Every time I go there, it's maybe this lady was Jim's friend. You never know. Maybe from that.
Yeah, you never knows. You never knows.
And there is also Oscar Wilde is there, Chopin is there.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's a cemetery, so it's a peaceful and respectful place, but it's amazing. Every time I have opportunity. Once I had just a layover over there in Paris, but I have time to take a taxi from airport, went to Père Lachaise, give my tribute to Jim, and then come back to the airport and take a flight. Yeah.
Amazing. So, did you like the movie of Val Kilmer? I think it was Milos Forman.
Incredible.
Amazing.
It was really well made. You should tell me better, but I loved it.
No, it's amazing. I mean, I always remember, because that was 90s. Val Kilmer, he killed that, like with a role, how he was playing, because before that he was a Batman, and after he made it was amazing. So it's like
incredible.
You are more into you're like old school basketball players. You're not into hip hop. You're more into
no, I know. Yes, basketball nowadays is a hip hop, especially from the 90s, you know, that kind of hip hop. So think about Rakim, Ja Rule, Snoop Dogg, of course, and Notorious Big, and Tupac. That built the culture, NBA culture also. And nowadays it's still like this. When I went there, yes, in Istanbul, for example, I put my music. Not a lot of players like it, maybe honestly, but they respect me, so they leave me to put it. But in the States, there was only hip hop. That's the culture of NBA. Yes.
Yeah, and that's today that what gives basketball this kind of urban sport. You know, we have you have 3-on-3. That's the new form. You know, and it's a street ball, and it's completely different than the basketball like 70s, 80s. I remember, because in Serbia, and the same in Italy. You know, like. Not disco, not the basketball guys. They was listen rock music, you know. It was like more.
Yes, no, it's now it's different. Okay, my hip hop is nice. Also, it make you dance and make you move your head, and especially on playground situation like this event that they do now, very urban with also graffitis, and it's good that you mix sport and art and street art with the music. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But for example, in the 70s, and this was my favorite city was in New York, for example. You had this, the new wave was pumping the punk, the post-punk, and so you could find in this situation like Patti Smith was there, of course, running the show. So television, and so Lou Reed, Iggy Pop, David Bowie, everybody influenced by art, with Andy Warhol, which is the most famous that he was making, editing the cover for all the albums and producing also the Velvet Underground.
Pop art. It was Andy Warhol.
And that also there was the moment that art was not anymore for intellectual people or people that studied to understand the concept, abstract art. No, pop art. You take a can, you take some colors, comics, and Marilyn Monroe. Boom, you have art. And all this. And New York Knicks were NBA champions those years. So in the 70s, I think New York was a bomb of,
I told you, I just watching this series on Netflix that is called Get Down.
Yes,
and it's about New York in those years, and talking from the point of view of graffiti artists and hip hop music. And then you see how underground was that. And now it's like graffiti. The best thing that you see when they do a commercial for the cars, there's lots of graffiti artists in that, and the hip hop music.
Andy Warhol influenced today Obey, Murakami again, or Bansky. This coming from there, like those music influenced the Depeche Mode, the New Order. That's incredible how influence was that area for the future generation. Was incredible.
Yeah, because today we have internet, but in those days, I remember this is the story from Belgrade, like people in those days who had somebody who was working at the airport, and then travel, and bring the records and bring the books and bring the comics. It's amazing, man. And it's the same as you mentioned, like Andy Warhol, and there was Basquiat, the painter that this abstract art that now is selling for millions, and of course there was a different years, and and I mean everything is changing and somehow it's repeating,
because
in 90s you had that flashback with indie music, with all the Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all those bands that get inspired by
and coming back now.
And it's coming back again, and for me it's like talking about the music, so we go a little bit talking about the movies and the series. What you prefer? You prefer movies or you prefer series to watch?
Depends. Usually the thing is that I arrive at night, yes, and I'm very I fall asleep most of the time, but okay, TV series, if I like, I watch like yours, not because it's you, but especially we were in lockdown, so I watched it in one day because I was at home. But TV series, if I like it, I really cannot go to sleep. So also I'm scared about this because I need to sleep.
Yeah, binge watch.
But movies also, it's nice. It's nice if it's a well movie or well stories or great interpretation. I mean, also now I'm paying attention also more on the photography. It's a word. I would like to know more about it because everything that I like, I would like to know something more about it. And also movies and TV series now, there is a word behind it, and for sure you can tell me a lot of stuff.
What now, as you mentioned photography and this, what you prefer? For example, for me, I prefer European cinematography and some American as well. But there's in Europe, especially, I love Italian, French, and Spanish cinematography. What is yours?
Spanish now is growing up a lot. I saw this Oriol Paulo, the regist, is making incredible movies. Also, from Mexico, they're coming great. But for example, photography of this that shocked me, that opened me a world, Budapest Hotel. So the movie, I say, what is this? I mean, so I start to learn something about all the technique of photography that before I was never giving attention, but this opened my mind a little bit. And yes, Italian photography is worldwide famous, and maybe also was one of the, those that started
one of the most famous Italian director of photography, Storaro. He was like Francis Ford Coppola movies, like one of my all-time favorite movies is Apocalypse Now. It's amazing movie. Coming back to 70s, because that's for me the more you mentioned 60s changed the world, and then you see in 70s was that change, that lead to 80s and the end of the Cold War and all that. But Italian, I like Italian, Cinecittà, all that Fellini movies and Pasolini movies.
Yes.
It's like
no, we have. I know we have great names. Yes, we need to be proud of this. Yes.
Yeah, and for me, I remember because in Yugoslavia got big influence from Italian TV, all these programs, TV shows and that in Yugoslavia, even if it was a communist country, there was coping, Tito was a little bit more liberal than the other presidents of the other countries. So we grew up, I remember like the first TV show, like I mean, don't forget Bud Spencer and Terence Hill, and the Italian spaghetti.
This is cult in Italy.
Italian spaghetti westerns, That's for me. It's like
Leone also Western was very impressive.
The other director, Tinto Brass. I don't know if you know Tinto Brass.
Tinto Brass is our strength and conditioning coach. Is one of the best Tinto Brass fans ever.
Really?
Because this kind of erotic.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's no. Also, these really people in Italy. Tinto Brass, you see boobs and ass. It's not that. He was really a great director. He was great director.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, talking about again, one thing in Italy that I got influenced a lot in Yugoslavia as a kid. It's comics. It's fumetti, no?
Fumetti, yes, fumetti in Italian.
Fumetti, like especially from Milano, that was amazing. All the Western, like Zagor. I don't know if you remember.
Tex Winter,
Captain Mark, all that black. But then again, there was Alan Ford. I don't know your generation. Yeah,
no, I know the name, but I never read. Me, as a kid, I grew up with Topolino, who was comics from Disney, basically. So Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck. Growing up, more Diabolic. I think from it was two Italians' daughter. I don't remember if they were yes, I think were Italians. Italians' daughter. They were writing. Two old ladies that were writing about this thief, gentleman thief, and Dylan Dog. Dylan Dog. Yes, I read also Dylan Dog a lot.
Yeah, Dylan Dog. I don't know. I don't know why they don't do the series Dylan Dog.
This would be nice, huh? This would be nice. Yes.
Dylan Dog, Marti Misteria, also amazing. Yeah. So yeah, you have a big background. That's good.
Here and there, I would like to know more about some because photography. Yes, I like, but I don't know nothing about photography. But I start to pay attention a little bit at least.
I mean, that's for me. I cannot watch anymore. And I was talking with my friends. I cannot watch anymore objective. The series, always when I watch photography, I watch the quality, not only the acting, because it's not reality, it's good. But then always as a skills, you watch the game, and you see the skills, so you watch the skills. But then there's so many things. I mean, it's not called 7 art for nothing, it's a form of art. I was in Madrid in very good exhibition about a movie and painting. How they start from the Lumiere brothers, with the paintings.
Okay.
It's amazing because, I don't know, like collaboration. One of my favorite movies is Spellbound. I don't know if you know Hitchcock movies. It's a movie of Alfred Hitchcock, and all the stage, all the, the scenography and the paintings of Salvador Dali. Movies.
What's the name again?
Spellbound. It's a black and white movie. It's an amazing movie, and then you see like that art there. It's, I mean, two genius. Hitchcock and Dali, when they meet, it's amazing.
Bye.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, Gigi. I don't know, like...
I think there are no other topics to touch. We touch everything.
Yeah, we touch. I mean, topics that are interesting for you and me. We can... you as a basketball player, probably you could tell me something more about basketball, but I don't know. I mean, feel free.
No, what to say? Now, yes, okay. Now, talking about basketball and series, The Last Dance came out. Are you watching it?
Wow, man. I'm one of the privileged, working for the Netflix. So I already.
Hey, give me some link.
I already saw like 5 episodes.
Okay.
And what to say, man? There, it's amazing how that story that happened like 30 years ago is so actual these days. So many interests. It's the most watched sport documentary ever.
Especially now, everybody is thirsty about the sport material, and there is no sport, so they were waiting. Basketball world was waiting for this like crazy, more than any kind of finance.
And then you see how the important the part of the social life is sport, because
Yes.
not only sport, entertainment as well. Movies, theater, concerts, festivals, everything gonna change so much. Now you see the images that 1 month ago was completely normal from the festival, and now it looks like science fiction. It's like
Now if when I see something like an old concert on TV, my first reaction is what are they doing? Like what they're doing? Something? No, this is dangerous, because we change. We're gonna be different for sure. We're gonna be different.
No, definitely. You see that video from Berlin, no? When you won the EuroLeague Cup and all the people jumping, no? Imagine now. I mean, of course, I think I'm an optimist. I think the thing's gonna solve. And we're gonna come back to normal.
Me too.
It's a process because there's a documentary we just started to watch last night on Netflix. I don't know how fast they made this, but it's already a documentary about all the COVID thing that's going on, and the thing is that happens so fast, but going out from this is going to be a process.
Yes,
it's not going to be like from next week everything go back to the normal.
No, and it's so important to behave good, in this. In Italy, they call second phase, because if you think that okay, it's over, it's normal life, then you go back to lockdown, and this can be incredible bad for every kind of economy.
Yeah.
To behave. We need to behave.
Okay, Gigione, really nice to talk with you.
My pleasure.
I hope I'm gonna.
So many inputs, so many information. You gave me some homework to do in terms of movies and music. So,
of course, man. Of course. Thank you very much. I hope to see you very soon on the court, man. Where you're doing your best. Where you're doing your best.
Hopefully. Okay. Thank you. Take care and stay in touch.
Ciao. Take care.
Ciao.